Hello and welcome to the skating lesson. I'm Dave Leese.
And I'm Jonathan Byer. Hi, Dave. How are you?
Hello, this is the skating lesson. This is this and that. We're going to discuss everything going on in the skating world this weekend. So if you're new, please subscribe below, smash that like button, and ring that bell. I am currently speaking to you from the, my childhood bedroom on the floor because I am in quarantine. This is, I think, day 7 of the Rona. So we are.
Yeah. Dave, I had a scare where I thought I had it, but you had to one-up me and actually get it.
It is what it is. So
yeah.
No, I'm feeling better. So yeah, I think I have a mild strain to be really honest, and yeah. So I think we're okay.
Yeah.
We're moving along, and
okay.
It was, yeah, we're okay. We're like, I think the anxiety, being for me. The worst part is the first few days I didn't feel well, and then the anxiety of when you have it, it's like a huge weight when you get it. But then, you make do,
Yeah. Dave, bless your heart. Yeah.
It's okay. We are all right.
And this and that continues. Just saying.
Yeah. So, a couple housekeeping items, things happening this week. First thing I have to say is that Igor Shpilband edited my music for me. He's amazing.
Okay. And it's a craft. It's a real skill to be able to do it.
I have like a couple of friends that do it, but like are more amateur about it. He does it, and the thing just sounds like, you're like, oh my god. Like,
when you don't even notice the edits are there, it's like a real art form. Yeah.
He can add in things and do things. And it was like, for the average bear, this was a very complicated edit. He must have done it in like 30 minutes. Just
amazing.
A real craftsman. And then he goes, I have playlists of song ideas per skater that are on Spotify. And you can like listen to music ideas, and some are music that he's maybe edited for other people or the original things. Oh, and he has it by discipline and by gymnastics floor routines or synchro or rhythmic. What a gem. So I really had I was going to go with my friend who did it, but then Sandra said, I think it needs a professional ear. And I was like, she's telling me gently.
Say no more. Yeah.
We are.
You don't want her to say, well, he likes his edit. He seems happy with the edit, but yeah, you want her to be happy with the edit. Yeah, okay.
Now also I've been fighting the Rona and fighting battles on a hack and sack front, Jonathan. I always say this. On a recent episode, someone got mad at me for something that actually you said, and then they're ranting about it in the Hackensack lobby, and I'm getting messages from people in near real time about what is being said, as people are trying to explain and be like, no, he didn't say that. And no, Jonathan didn't say that either. Maybe you heard that, but that's not what was said. And
there are actual receipts. You could go and re-listen and hear what was said. Here's something I just want to interject for a moment in general about.
Jonathan, I'm speaking really generally, so we don't say what it was or what.
I got you.
Okay.
Yeah, I got you. So this is something that comes up in classical music all the time, comes up in performance-based things, comes up a lot in sports as well. And I was always strongly encouraged coming up to not read reviews, to not seek out opinion-based podcasts, shows, columns, these sorts of things, because quite frankly, it shouldn't interfere with the work I'm doing as an artist. If I believe in what I'm doing, it doesn't really matter what a reviewer may say or a blogger may say. Now, I understand we're also dealing with a different age group with some of this. Like, it's easy to tell a professional classical musician in their 20s, 30s, whatever, to ignore certain things. But I think it's something that could be revisited in things like skating when people go off social media so that they can focus. I think we've talked about on the show also things on Twitter. If someone says a criticism of someone equates to bullying, I think that if you are seeking out to hear an opinion, it is not bullying. I think a mere criticism that you have sought out is just that. I think if we came to someone, added someone, tagged someone, and said something, that's a very different scenario. But I think it's a great learning opportunity for all performers, creative types, competitors, athletes, whatever it is, to stay tunnel vision to what you're doing and not let outside sources indicate one way or the other what you're doing.
There were so many hypocritical statements that were made by said parties. One of my favorite was when someone said, well, they should be building the kids up. And I thought, pause. The person who said this screams at children on the ice of all ages with a nasty stank face, like, for hours a day. Hours a day.
And what does a channel like TSL provide? Is it there to foster young talent like a federation, or is it a place for the super fan to come together, discuss ideas and thoughts, and figure out where to view all these competitions and learn a whole bunch of new names and things? There should be some compartmentalization, I think, in a lot of this. And if your child or if you're a parent obsessively watching, monitoring for something that said, I mean, I guess the alternative would be to say nothing ever about a skater. And then suddenly droves of people that come here for information no longer know that that person exists.
So Russians play a lot of games, right?
Oh, speaking of which, because we're going to talk about Russia, that's where I got the, even though it's a Belgian vase, it came from Moscow. I thought it was a nice tie-in because we're going to be talking about Russia later.
I hear someone is upset. I write a 2-page note, spell checked it in my Apple Notes before I sent it over.
Where they make the first line bold for no reason. Don't you hate that? Okay.
I know, I hate that too. But it was, we thought about it, sent it. No response. No response. No response. And I thought, they want to show that they are important. Right. I send flowers as a kind gesture saying, I appreciate you. After the person gets them, first someone else sees them, the person is happy. Maybe an hour later, they're ranting about us again, Jonathan, on the rink. And this time they are going in, and then it's 2 of them ranting. Find out.
I mean, yeah.
Well, I'm just telling my story.
Okay.
I may text one of these individuals. Maybe Gracie Gold is at the rink that day. In all things, of course, you have Gracie Gold doing a music video for an artist I've never heard of. People are, of course, acting like this is Janet Jackson filming a video. I don't know. Lady Gaga in the rink.
For the Super Bowl. Yeah, exactly.
Look, I've never been in a music video. No hate, no shade. Good for Gracie, good for all involved. But there was like a level of ego. I was like, And then when the person who got the flowers acknowledged them, they only acknowledged the flowers and never the note or anything else. And I was like, we're done. We are done. You have to know that if someone is going to act in that kind of a way, that's how they're
disproportionate.
But that's how they're going to be all the time. Not worth it. Not worth it. So we move along. the hilarious thing is after that, because I did it like kind of like, I mentioned it, not meanly, but I said, you know, you're welcome. I did hear what you said. Instead of being like, oh, and responding, they then went over text and in person trying to figure out what I knew instead of just having a conversation.
Looking for a whistleblower.
Looking for a whistleblower. I could,
Yeah.
like, hysterical. So anyway.
It's a unique world. It's
If you knew the personalities, it is amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Hilarious. You know what? I think that if you were coaching skating every day for 20, 30 years, it has to get boring, right? That has to be why these rinks are so dramatic. I cannot figure out another reason why skating rinks are so dramatic.
It's very emotional for a lot of these people. Yeah.
Very emotional. Yes. Very emotional. So,
there you go.
it is what it is. Anyway, speaking of emotions, Anthony Ponomarenko and Christina Carreira have left Igor Shpilband, and they didn't say where they were going, but it's ice dance, and there aren't many options when you get to the level that they are at. Where do you think they're going?
I mean, Montreal seems too obvious a choice. I wonder if they're not going to head on over to Marina for a little bit.
I was thinking, so someone was telling me that his parents live in Florida. And I thought, you know, their latest program is very classical. You know, she would be a classical choice. Everyone is already with Marie-France. Then I thought, well, do you think they're going a year early to Marie-France? Like to switch, they would switch maybe. But then she still has 4 American teams in an Olympic year. Do you really want to take on a new team? Is this really the time? And then there's talk that maybe Scott Moyer is starting a rink, but you don't know how good is his team going to be? How good is the facility? Do you want to be the guinea pig at that level? So I'm wondering, unless they're somehow training in Russia, which I really doubt because I just think that there's so many complications involving that. And even then, like, yes, you could go to Julin, but is that what you're going to do? I don't know. To me, what makes the most sense is that they're going to Marina. And
it was interesting because when we were talking about Sochi back in the day, and it was at the time then, there was a bit of an oversaturation of the Marina aesthetic. There were so many top Marina teams, and we had sort of like seen so much of that. And in the interim, now we have so much of that Montreal aesthetic happening, and it's really inundated most of the top teams. So I think it would be so smart to revisit someone like Marina, because I think just a unique presence and identity that would give them would be the smartest thing they could do. I
will say that I think that Marie-France has diversified her aesthetic enough that not I don't think that the snake program is anything like Papadakis and Cizeron are doing, especially that signature style that Papadakis and Cizeron did. And I think like in 2017, you could make a argument that like Olivia Smart's program with Adria Diaz to Circles was like right in that same vein. But I think that there's been enough, and eventually, you know, the French are likely going to compete next year and then probably retire. So I would imagine there will be more variety. At the same point, you still, they could also go to Caroline, but who knows if, I don't know if they're going to do that. That's, for some reason, I don't think that that's the move. I think that it would probably be a Marina move. It would make more sense to me.
Yeah.
I would think that would make more sense because it's like, he's Russian style. His parents are, you know, you've been raised in that whole skating school, right? And even though Igor Shpilband and his parents are technically American citizens, like they are Russian. Like, and so is, you know, Marina is Russian. So it's a similar aesthetic and taste and all of that. So I don't know.
And I think it would be an easy transition to make, having spent so much time together. You know what I mean? It's just like you're saying. I think the school of thought of one, they're going to know how to take it to the next level with the other.
Unless, is Marina retired? Is she not? But they still have Oleg Epstein there, and he's very talented. So who, unless Massimo Scali, is he going to want to train ice dancers? Would he do it by himself? I don't know that he has his own school, right?
Because when they were not at nationals, did they cite a reason? Was this most likely
exposure to Corona?
Or
someone did.
Okay. It wasn't to do with potentially already making a move and doing that sort of stuff. It was cited as Corona.
Now you've had me thinking, because there were, I think, isn't Karen Chen's brother, doesn't he skate in that same rink? So why would one team have exposure and not another? But, you know, things are, who knows, you know? When you say COVID exposure, that's such a vague, not vague term, but, you know, it could be X number of things or people or, you know, the mailman. I don't know, like who could be doing it. So yeah, we'll see. I'm as curious as anyone else to find out. Also, Marie-France made some vague announcement that they have some surprise announcement coming. So
vague booking 101, yeah.
I don't know, there was this video of Marie-France and she was like, I had a dream as a child. And I was like, Marie-France had a dream. And I was just like seeing Anissa Pezara's program. I have a dream.
Amazing.
Oh, yes. So I don't know. But this coming week, we are about to have the fake European Championships, or the Channel One Cup, as it is being referred to. And it is from our friends in Russia who are competing. And there's going to be like this jump competition that they're having before the actual regular event of like a short, long. So it's like part Ice Wars, part competition. Now, Medvedeva and Zagitova are the team captains, and they are indeed planned to do exhibitions around the same time that the jumping event happens, which Tatiana Tarasova will judge. So I'm hoping we see the new Billie Eilish program from Evgenia. I would like lots of drama. None of this poetry, you know. The only poet we like is one who's at the inauguration, who's now going to be at the Super Bowl. Unless Medvedeva is giving us that, I'm not feeling it.
I have a feeling she is not, yeah. But I'm intrigued. So like when they do the jump competition in Colorado over the summer, how does that work? Do you think this is going to kind of sort of look like the same format? I'm curious because it's a men versus women jumping contest. So I'm like, is this based on grades of execution? Is this based on, I'm unfamiliar with how they might go about scoring this, because in the article we read, or that I read, it just merely said it will be women jumping against men, which I have to tell you, if this can be a Tuktamisheva moment where she can just in isolation throw out a quad, or if this is a place for Kolyada to try in isolation the quad lutz and the sow and the toe, like this could serve a very interesting purpose.
Yes, but Kosternaya is not going to do this one, but she has been working hard to get her triple axel back, hopefully for the
But
world.
she'll be in the main event, right? She just won't be in the jumping portion before
Yes.
Yes, okay.
But we did see her training. She looks better. She looked healthy. And she's a new program, and she changed the color of her hair. And I always remember Alexei Krasnozhan saying, when these skaters change their hair, they want a psychological shift. So I'm thinking she had a terrible fall season for her. Now she is perhaps having a new program. She was
Wiping slate
clean, new program, new hair, hanging out with Alexander Lakernik, friends in high places. So I think we're moving along. I don't know what to expect, but I think it will be dramatic. I mean, I've wanted to see her. We haven't seen her in some time. Get out the smelling salts. I mean,
it's going to be a killer matchup. the group of women they have here. It will be a thrilling competition.
I know, I'm so ready.
Yeah.
You can really tell who the A team is in Russia. We're not even like pretending about these like B and C listers that the fans try to make happen. No.
Right. Including former European champions. Do you know what I mean? Like they just have titles galore, so they can just pick the fan favorites. Because there will be an audience choice award, which I find very interesting. Because it will give us a real insight as to who some of the fan favorites are among these top ladies.
I mean, I like that Tarasova is the only judge of the jump event. Do you trust her to make this decision?
I like that, like it's going to be a streamlined decision though, because it's panel decisions. We're just going to end up getting like the most agreeable. But I like that she can just really send a statement with this.
Like, who is she, Judge Judy? Like, what is she going to get a TV show? And this is her like her pilot, her audition. I love it. I
watched that show.
Don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. All right, I just would love.
Okay.
Yes. Oh man, yeah, but they. By the way, they're only battling it out for 10 million rubles, which is $136,000, which I'm pretty sure they have to share. I mean, look, I wouldn't take whatever money you want to give me, but just very interesting that that's the. I don't know if they have appearance fees as well. I mean, they probably, who knows with their contract with the federation.
Because with the team, they're really going to have to divvy that up. That's going to be divided several ways.
Yeah. Well, more money to just, I don't know, what are these kids spending it on? They're like buying chihuahuas. They all have dogs. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and I do always have to remember that their training fees and things like that are not the same as it is here in the States and stuff like that. So,
and we're also going to be having the junior nationals at the same time, so within the same days. So that's really the showdown between Akatyeva and Zhilina.
I was like, can you spread this out for me? Why you give me all the good stuff all at once? Like, this would have been a great weekend to watch the juniors or this this team event. Now you got to pack it all in at the same time. I was just excited to see that Samsonov was back on the list.
I know we're going to potentially have a bit of a delta here, like a bit of a dead period where we go from fake Europeans to then a blip and then Worlds. But I think that during that time, we will also have the Russian Cup finals coming up to determine the team for the Russians for the World Championships. But that's kind of a big, otherwise there's going to be some dead time. I don't know.
And we did see that Tarasova posted, right, that after the ISU meeting was held, their plan is to go ahead and have Worlds.
Mm-hmm. Which there's another announcement that's going to be coming probably tomorrow. And that's going to deal with how you deal with the minimum score issue. Because there are people like Vincent Zoe and Alexa and Brandon who are not, they don't currently have a minimum score for the competition, especially, Alexa and Brandon compete internationally. Besides, Skate America doesn't really count as an international event under ISU rules. So, but I heard,
which is unfortunate because were they all American judges? Was that the complaint? Okay.
But I heard that there's going to be a workaround for that.
There has to be, and I don't find that unfair in any way.
It's not going to be some sort of video submission. I heard that everyone is going to be fine. Yeah, it's not going to be like a something where they're out of luck because they didn't go to some like senior B that they can only travel to Europe. They're being so accommodating. Who knew the ISU was so agreeable and accommodating?
But they have to be, because if they're not, they're going to be in real trouble. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we're going to see this, but it's supposed to be coming. So I think it was, I don't know. We'll see. Otherwise, it's like not too much happening. I don't think Plushenko's even like fought with anyone in a couple of days. I mean,
he did post the picture with Kosternaya and Lukernik. Is that how you say it? Together, giving that seal of approval and all that sort of stuff, doing the good work. But so I'll be intrigued. I'll be intrigued what we see from.
Yana's having stuff. I think they're having a court case about their son, and there are so many things. She posted something of herself with the son yesterday that soon people will be held responsible or something along those lines. Some cryptic message. Yes, it was great.
It's always something.
I worry you don't follow Yana. I don't think you're following the situation.
I don't follow Yana. And I'm like trying to like unplug from all that stuff. And it's like, oh yeah. But then I miss all the good juicy tidbits.
All the tidbits. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I think it's all that's pretty much happening. I mean, Wendy Williams had a movie last night. It was a barn burner, Jonathan. I just like, I don't know. Did you watch that?
You sent the clip, but I didn't watch it.
Oh no, that wasn't the documentary. The documentary.
Oh.
Wendy. And the way they filmed it, I don't know why she wanted to be filmed this way, with like a glass of champagne on her machine for lymphedema for her legs. And like, that's how she chose to do most of her interviews, as she's drinking and crying and talking about addiction and issues and divorce. It was very emotional and messy. And
she is someone who lives out loud, isn't she? You know, like she just lets you have it.
She lets you have it. Yes, I know. I can't wait.
Yeah. Crazy.
One more week of quarantine and hopefully back. And then, yeah.
I'm impressed to see you so alert and speaking and like this and all that sort of stuff. I'm really glad to see that.
Come on, Jonathan, we gotta pull ourselves up, you know?
Exactly.
Show must go on, okay?
Literally.
People skate to Moulin Rouge that you would know by now. Ashley Wagner taught us the show must go on.
Isn't it so funny, because so many of those Moulin Rouge numbers that we come to associate with the movie and skating, when they did the Broadway show, they cut most of those.
Oh.
A real missed opportunity to get the skating fans in there.
Did you see the Broadway show?
Well, I mean, I was being considered for one of the parts.
Oh.
So I had become acquainted with, I mean, the whole thing exploded. This was like back in March, but yeah, it's a lot of the songs we know are missing from it, but I had not seen it, but I saw the score.
Well, I mean, you've seen enough Moulin Rouge programs that I think there's enough experience and things to go on.
Instead, I wanted to be considered for the Moonlight Sonata musical. It's just a joke.
I saw, there was a great meme today that was saying that, like, you know, Broadway's been closed so long that Evan Hansen now looks like this, and it was like a middle-aged man. It was great.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, how it started, how it's going. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. Well, hopefully in the fall that will.
And my computer is being fixed. I'm actually borrowing a different computer in the family, but I'll be uploading more videos coming up.
And just you crouched on the floor in your childhood bedroom. There's something so poetic about this whole thing, Dave. You need just like a flashlight talking about figure skating.
It's really okay. It's okay. We're good. Okay. I'm not allowed in the other room, Jonathan. Okay, you understand that, like.
Oh, Debbie seems like she follows rules.
You put a stop sign in the bathroom across from my room, not allowed to go in there, okay?
Okay, all right. Because she's escaped all of this, right?
My mom has been the only one.
Fascinating, yeah.
I don't, and literally we worked out together. We watched TV, so hopefully she stays healthy. So who knows?
Yeah.
So far.
God bless her.
Yeah, we'll see. See what's going on.
Give me an event. What did you just post on Patreon that I should go watch? Or on YouTube, rather. What's the most recent old school event? I saw 2007 Dance is up.
Oh, yes, because we're going to judge that. So maybe we're judging that for Patreon. So this week, maybe we'll start to go through that and we can do that. It was the plan to go through it sooner, and then this thing happened. So,
right,
yeah.
Exactly.
But, and then we interviewed Maddie Sheezus, rhymes with Jesus, as she taught us. So,
but that wasn't so much the confusing part for me. It was how to do the first part. So is she doing a ska or a sh to begin it?
I don't know.
Yeah, it could go several ways. Skeezes or sheezes.
I thought it was Sheezus.
I think so too. That's what I seem to hear the most. So
I think it's Sheezus.
And what was your take? Did you like the energy?
Yeah, she's a fun girl. Very nice and Canadian, but there's a little bit of sass there.
Which we love, yeah.
like a little bit of sass in a girl. So yeah, I think it's all groovy. It's all gravy. You know what? She's Canadian and she plays piano and she's going for her grade 8 piano exam, which I hadn't heard of.
Don't get me started on how they do all that stuff. It is ridiculous. To me, it is the antithesis of quality musical education when they do these like books by it's the Royal Conservatory System.
Are you pissing off Maddie Jesus? No, what is with you lately?
No, I think that's great because it means she's very advanced if she's doing that. No question, no question. It's just
the girl wants to play piano. She said it's not for the people who go to Juilliard or where do we go? Curtis, okay? She didn't want to go to Curtis. She wants to figure skate, okay? She wants to study the brain and figure skate and play a little piano and maybe teach some lessons in her garage, Jonathan, okay? And like, you know.
And bless her for it. But she's musical. You can tell she listens to her music and she has conservatory
people are allowed to have hobbies that they're not doing it was natural. I don't know.
I'm talking about the fact, well, whatever. That's a whole nother podcast.
It's a certification, okay?
It is a certification. Yeah. And she, again, would be skilled if she's at that level. So that's great.
Very skilled, okay? Just be nice to her, all right? Don't be hating on her exams, okay?
Hold up. This is how this runs away. I said nothing about her. I'm just talking about the conservatory.
Oh, you said it was the antithesis of good education.
Yeah, the way they format those books and that it's by grade and all this strange stuff. But that's just a pedagogical difference.
I want these tests, okay?
I do, and that's why I'm saying it.
All right, I played the piano, and then we got to the point, and it was like, the hands are in different keys and at different times and at different who has time for that, okay?
Yeah, exactly. It's why my brain is always in both directions.
None of that, all right?
Yeah, exactly.
Bass clef, treble clef, write it one way and each hand will figure it out.
Well, and then at the time also I was studying viola, so then you throw an alto clef and you don't know what the heck is going on.
Was the violin like not unique enough that you had to do the viola? Like,
see, you get me, Dave. The viola's bigger. I needed like adjust my size.
Who's a kid that's like 5 that's like, I want to play the viola? It's like, no, I would like to be first chair or like a state orchestra. So I'm gonna go for the viola instead of the
viola. Exactly. Optimize your chance for success.
Why not the cello, Jonathan? You're like really freaking big and tall. You could do
but not in my arms. I couldn't lug that thing around. It's too heavy.
It's strength. You could have been a pair boy, okay?
Exactly. Had I played the cello, I could have done pairs. But instead I did remedial ice dance because I was carrying around a viola.
I've never heard someone be like, I would like to be a viola. I've met 2 viola players in the last like couple of weeks.
And they were
one had a lesson with Galina. This boy from Princeton had a lesson with Galina. And I was like, so she's gonna wear fur. He's like, why would she be wearing fur?
Because it's cold.
And I was like, because she's Galina. Like, what do you?
Then you have to say, why wouldn't you be? Yeah.
She told him he has a jumping ability that comes from God and a skating ability that is learned to skate. Like you actually have 0 skating skills.
She gives and she takes. Okay. Fair enough.
It's a fact. The other day, I was texting her about something. And like, I wasn't feeling well, because sometimes, you get a fever at night, even when this thing is coming back. And all of a sudden I texted Galina and I was like, she wrote me back in like, there were commas and punctuation and complete sentences. And I was like, who the hell is writing to me? Then it dawned on me. She must have just given her granddaughter the phone and said, say this. But it was like way too nice and way too pleasant and
formal almost. Yeah. Warmest regards, Galina. Yeah.
Galina, did you take AP English? Like, what's going on here?
Amazing.
Surely you did not, right? I just want to make sure that it's not me. All right.
I think of you every time now. Anytime I see a chandelier that's like lowered in a photograph, I'm like, oh, Galina can do that. Yeah.
It's her own Phantom of the Opera situation, as she said.
Exactly. Walking around with that mask. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yes. I don't know. I know. I'm so excited. We're going to have some some good Russian drama, things happening. There's some
2 big events like that. That'll be quite a weekend of skating, that's for sure.
Well, it's not going to be that long. We don't have to sit through all the dregs, okay?
I know, but this is my favorite part, is that we are providing then an alternative to Super Bowl Sunday. So for those that would like to revisit the Russian team event and Russian juniors, you can do so while everyone else is watching some football game.
But now that we're like having poets at the Super Bowl, we're still going to get like a nip slip, right? Because I wrote an entire legal media law term paper about that in college, about the legality of it. It's very interesting.
Okay.
It was about the difference between, it had to deal with the difference between indecency and obscenity. And it was either 7/16 of a second or 9/16 of a second. So it was, you know, you have to write about, you know, the, that this image happened on the computer, on the TV screen for that forever changed broadcasting and things
just
like
from
that.
a production standpoint, like, you know, I know in an opera what it takes to change the scene. The fact that they just go from playing football and in 2 seconds, like all of this is set up, everyone's nailing it, it's full, it's lights, it's all this stuff, and then 2 seconds later, it's all gone. I think that is like one of the most miraculous production feats ever.
Who's even performing, okay? As far as I'm concerned, Britney should be performing over Zoom if we're doing this, right? I mean, what?
Well, they often use throwback artists at times, so
throwback,
I'm sure it's been announced.
It's very relevant, okay? I don't know, all right? I'm here for it. All right.
But you don't have to watch the Super Bowl or the Puppy Bowl, as I used to watch on Animal Planet, and you know, to object to the Super Bowl. But instead, you can watch this and that about all things Russia. It'll be great.
Yes. All right. Hold an edge and look sexy, everyone. Bye.